Get strong.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Commander deck profile. Now today I have an updated Precon, I say an upgraded Precon from Tarkir Dragonstorm. I have Cetathar, I think that's how you say it, the Steadfast. She is a 4-drop Abzan, so black, white and green, and 1 colorless, so she's 4 mana. She is a 0/5 and creatures you control can assign combat equal to its, combat damage equal to its power, to its toughness rather than its power. She can also allow defenders to attack even though it didn't have a defender, and you can pay free, tap her, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to its toughness, and discard cards equal to its power. That's really nice. Being able to like sack toughness of 10, draw 10, and a toughness of 0 to then discard 0 cards. Really good, really nice, especially in these colors. Because you know me, I played a lot of Tree Folk. I love Dawn the Siege Tower, so I really like the idea of hitting with the booty. I think it's funny and fun, which is why I went with the Abzan deck. Like, I saw it. It was staring at me right in the face, so I kind of had to get it. Oh. And it's my colors. I play a lot of white, I play a lot of green, and I play a lot of black. So it is my colors. Do love me some good Abzan. But I think after me rambling for about a minute, we'll actually start the profile. So yeah, here she is, Cetathar the Steadfast. Took me ages to figure out how you actually say her name, and I'm still loving that they are still printing them in these gorgeous full arts. So, when it comes to creatures, like when it comes to the deck, I took 24 cards out and popped 24 cards in. A variety of both creatures, spells, creatures, instants, sorceries, enchantments, and lands and artifacts. 24 cards went out, 24 cards in. I will leave a link to Architect with the deck list, which would show what cards I took out and what cards I put in. The link will be in the description below. So we'll focus first on the creatures that stayed in. These creatures came in the Precon. So Will of Omens, ETB Defender draw card, another Defender ETB draw, and another ETB draw. There's about 3 of them that just enter, draw card, and 2 of them are 0/4s. This one is a 2/5. These come in handy because usually I sack these ones. Mostly sack these 2 when I want to draw 4 and discard 0. And plus there's a lot of cards that do stuff with Defender. Sorry, it's early in the morning. Welcoming Vampire. When one or more creatures with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This basically only triggers once each turn. So if you summon a 0/4 during my turn, if I summon a 0/4 during my turn, and if I somehow spit out a low, if I somehow summon a token during your turn, I draw. Shadrick's Silver Quill. This is pretty cool. It gives the option of what I want to give my opponents. So I want to kind of be a little bit friendly. But yeah, it's a nice 2/5. It's flying double strike. Double strike comes in very handy because it eventually hits for 10. Because we hit a lot of booty in this deck because we like the booty. A Overgrown Battlement. This is a Mana Dork Defender, so it adds a green for each creature with Defender I control. Sylvan Credited, Defender Hexproof, add 1 mana red color. An Axebane Guardian adds X mana and any combination of colors for X is the number of creatures with Defender. So this is really cool because if I have like 3 defenders, I can add 1 red, not 1 red, 1 white, 1 black, 1 green, because it's in any combination of colors. This card's really good. But not as busted as this one. This doggo is crazy. Best mana dork in the deck. Tap it, add 1 mana with the color. Or you can tap it and then add mana of only 1 color, where X is the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. So if I have this, which is a 5 toughness, I gain 5 mana. If it's one of my, like, I do have like a 10 in here. I do have like a 10 drop creature in here because they came in the Precon. It's nuts. Favorite Elder. This gets a 1/1 for each color. Adds 1 mana for each color among permanents you control. Add 1 mana of that color. So 3 colors effectively. Now we're going on to kind of like the life gain kind of stuff. We are still running the Landfall Defender 0/3 Landfall gain life. Well of Revenants. Flying Defender, beginning of my end step, by target creature gain life equal to its power. Annoyingly, I wish it was toughness, but that's fine. That is fine. A Faith Bender, the lifelink 1/5 4-drop. If you gain life, you gain twice as much life instead. This just helps me stay in the game. Wall of Limbs, whenever I gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. I can then pay 7, sack this creature, and target a player loses X life, where X is this creature's power. So I can just try and ramp up this for an easy kill. So 7 mana to just flat out kill someone. It's worth. Hornet's Nest, just so that I can just send this in as a blocker and like if it's dealt like 5. Ooh, that's 5 1/1 flying death touch hornets. We're still running the green tree, which is the exchange your life with this creature's toughness. I did add the black one in here too, because the black one is still pretty good. A Blight Pile, so each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creature defender you control. This could also be a game. This could also be a good game turn. This could potentially kill someone who's low enough. Walking Bulwark. This is still in the deck because pay 2, give something haste is still worth. Especially if it's like your commander. If you want to quickly do that pay 3 tap. Effectively paying 5 mana though to, well, to be fair, you can pay 5 mana, draw 5. It's still worth paying a mana for each draw. Crushing Drawbridge, the tap, creatures you control gain haste, so you can effectively pay to target this has haste, tap it, everything now has haste. Then we have the Weathered Sentinels. This has Defender, Vigilance, Reach and Trample. This creature can attack players who attacked you during their last turn, and so it didn't have Defender. When this creature attacks, it gets +3/+3 and gains indestructible to the end of the turn. So it becomes a 5/8 with indestructible, Defender, Vigilance, Reach and Trample. So this card is and it's only costs 3 mana for 4 keywords. This card is dumb. And again, well, really, it's pay 3 for like 5 keywords. But I guess that's it for like all the Defender lifey kind of mana wise. Next we have the Rampant Architect. Here's the ETB. Create a 1/3 wall with Defender. Whenever a creature with Defender dies, you can search your library for a basic land and put it on the battlefield tapped. There isn't really any way of blinking creatures in this deck. Of course, you could probably want to run Conjurer's Closer if you really want to, or Teleportation Circle, but I think the deck's fine without. my Endless Web Spider. Whenever opponent casts an instant sorcery, create a 1/2 spider with reach. Still running the little sloth because it's a 0/3 with reach. One of the rare creatures in this deck. To be fair, I think those two are the only creatures that came in the Precon with reach. ETB, put a land from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped. So it could be any land in your hand, just comes in tapped. Now I decided to keep in the Towering Titan. Because having access to trample is still decent. Sure, I have to sack a creature defender, but I can just sack one of the tokens that this makes and just get trample on everything. Also means all my opponent's creatures have trample, but I only really care about my creatures. So this thing would be like massive because it gets a +1/+1 counter where X is the total toughness among creatures you control. So this card can be massive, and you can also give this trample too. So yeah, it stayed in the deck for me. I know most people just decide to take it out for better stuff, but I still like the card. Seaborn Muse, which is funny because I think this is the only deck. I think this is the only Precon from Tarkia that has bracket 3. I think the rest are still bracket 2. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. But with the recent Game Changer, they made this a Game Changer card. So this is technically bracket 3. Originally, this updated was bracket 2 still. It's just this is the only reason why it's bracket 3. Yeah, Seaborn Ruse. You already know what Seaborn Ruse does. During, like, untaps all your permanents during other players' untap steps. Yeah, it stayed in. I'm still running Century Hunter because it's a 6-drop 0/7. We ignore the top part. This part is the one we care about. Because whenever it attacks, up to 100 target creatures get +0/+X, where X is number of cards in your hand. So yeah, if I've got like 5 cards in hand, everything gets +0/+5, so all my booties become even bigger. Or if I really don't need him anymore, I can just pay 3, tap this, sack him, draw 7 cards. Especially if I don't have a hand anymore, I could just make myself a new hand by sacking this, and because he's 0 power, I don't discard anything. Dragon Lord Dromoka, just he can't cast spells during my turn. Flying lifelink, can't be coward. It's just a 5/7 can't. I decided to keep him in the deck rather than the 3-drop cat that does the same thing. I mainly kept him in here because he is in fact he has a 7 booty, which is really good, plus the lifelink and flying. I don't really care about drawing that many cards because I can already draw a good amount. And the kind of last card from the Precon, it's the Indomitable Ancients. This card does nothing other than being a 2/10 4-drop. That's all. The card is hilarious and I love it. I even have an old version of it that I used to run in, well, I had the original printing that I used to run in Trees. I think this card only had like, what, 1, maybe, no, this card's like had, I think 2 or maybe 3 printings. It's nuts. But yeah, those are the creatures that are from the Precon. Creatures I have added. Sapling of Conifer. Indestructible 2/5. When it attacks, you reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature, you gain life equal to its toughness and lose life equal to its power. You then put it into your hand. If it's just like a land, it just stays on top of your deck. The Dryads, whenever another creature enters, you gain life equal to its toughness. You can pay 3, tap it to populate. Treebeard, I added Treebeard, Gracious Host, because I'm gaining a lot of life. I want to make him big, because he's the, other than the Towering Titan, I think he's the only one that actually has trample printed. Yeah, I don't really use the food tokens. I don't use the food tokens at all. We have Colin for the last year. Vigilance, reach. Whenever it or another creature dies, I can put a creature with lesser toughness from my grave into my hand. Pretty much. This, to be fair, this was my original tree folk commander, and I swapped to this. And then I just decided, nah, Dawn. Dawn's where it at. Dawn's the shit. We run Dawn Siege Tower. Dumb card. And then we add the Tree of Petition. I don't know. I just call it the Black Tree. So yeah, it's like the green one, where it exchanges your life with the creature's power, with the creature's toughness. You exchange target opponent's life, so one of their lives become 13. This is usually either used as a bait to get rid of something more, to get rid of like a removal card, and then I play something else. But yeah, if I ever summon this card, it's usually just a bait. But will people really risk having their life turned to 13? I don't know. I guess we'll see. And for the last creature, this is a creature that was printed in Tarkir. I did take out the commander version of it from the deck, because I think this version is just better. We have Bator, Kin of All. I do think that this one is a lot better than the commander one, to be perfectly honest. Because, okay, I don't know how sure, the putting 1/1 counters on another target creature equal to the number of life you gain this turn is really good. That's fine. But trying to get a permanent from your graveyard that has mana value equal to the life you've lost this turn, it's kind of hard. There are only like 3 cards in the deck that say I lose life. So I swapped him from that Bator to this Bator, because this Bator is nuts. I'll read them out. So, at the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness of 10 or greater, draw a card. Then, if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then, if creatures you control have toughness 4 or greater, each opponent loses half their life rounded up. This card is scary. This card is better than the other Bator, in my opinion. It's like, I think I got this in Card Market for a total of like €10. So it's pretty, I guess you can get it cheaper if you want to get it from other countries, but I got from UK. I think it's like, what, £16 or something like that on eBay and other sites. Yeah. Don't run the other Bator, run this Bator is better. So yeah, that's it for creatures, and now we go on to the artifacts. So the cards that came in the Precon. Not a surprise, it's Solving, Arcane Signet, Commander staples at this point. I actually really like Conifer's or Urn. I really like it. Creatures with toughness 4 or greater is put into a graveyard. Instead, you exile it. And then at the beginning of the end step, if you have like, was it 4 or 3 or more? 3 or more creatures that are exiled with this, you sack the urn and the creatures come back to the battlefield. Multiple times I've cast this, board wiped, and end of turn, this sacks itself. All my creatures with power, well, with toughness 4 greater, which is, to be perfectly honest, almost everyone. Almost everyone, other than the small mana dorks. Yeah, my entire board pretty much comes back. So I've lost nothing, and my opponents have lost everything. It's actually really good. I guess for another commander staple, for cards that have been added into the deck, we have a Fort Vessel, because we want to make sure we have unlimited hand size. Mage Right Stone, so we can untap our commander or our mana dorks. 1000-Year Elixir, so we can untap our commander and our mana dorks. Plus, creatures with an activated ability can activate them as though they had haste. So, if you guys remember from my old days of Maonar, these two were my main artifacts. And I took I took Swifties out for Lightning Greaves because I think Lightning Greaves is just better. I have no other reason to target any of my creatures. Most of the time it's on my commander. Next we go on to instances. Now this deck originally came with only 5 interactions. Annoyingly, only came with 5 interactions. I'm still using the original 5 interactions, I think. Yeah. So, commander deck, we're in white. Plowshares. Running black. Infernal Grasp. The Anguish I'm making. D-Spark. So these are kind of like the 4 main removal cards in the deck. The 6th interaction card was Tower Defense, which gives all my creatures +0, +5, and gains reach to the end of the turn. Yeah, nothing that incredible, I guess. The 2 I did add 2 more interaction cards. I just think fit the deck. One is Gogora Charm. I don't really do the neg 1 neg 1s. I usually just destroy target enchantment or yeah, I usually just destroy an enchantment. But if I really need to, I will regenerate all my creatures because you can regenerate, which I think is really cool for a charm to have. For the last one, I put in a fight card. It's not a traditional fight with power, it's the Grim Contest. So choose target creature you control and target creature opponent controls. Each of those creatures deal combat damage equal to their toughness rather than their power to each other. So yeah, I'm fighting my booty with your booty. My booties are bigger. Your guy dies. Yeah, so this deck, it's nuts that I only had 5 cards and I had any form of interaction, so I had to add 2 more. I think 7 is a good number, a good amount. You have a chance of at least seeing one in your opening hand, I think. Maybe. Where you have a higher chance. So I guess we go on to sorceries. Again, a lot of them are from the Precon. 5 of them, I guess, are still from the Precon. There are some I took out. But to be fair, a lot of them are, 3 of them are board wipes. The 3 initial board wipes are still in the deck. Expel the Interlopers, choose a number between 0 and 10, and destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. So if I pick 1, everything with power 1 or greater just dies. Slaughter the Strong, so each player chooses any number of creatures they control with power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures. Most of my guys are like under 3 or 0, so I'm fine. Then Tip the Scales, which is the sacrifice a creature, and if you do, all creatures get neg X to the end of the turn, where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness. So if I can just try and sack one of my lesser toughness guys to try and hope that all my other guys don't die, it's fine. But 3 board wipes, I think are fine. Like, I think 3 might be a bit too much for Precon, but we're doing an upgrade, so I guess it's kind of okay. Next, we've kept Will of Abzan. I love the Will cards. The Will cards are so good. They're like the for example, if you control your commander, you can choose both. So for Abzan, any number of target opponents each sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures. Any number of target opponents each sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures target player controls and loses 3 life. Or you can return a target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So zombify. So to be fair, tier grid decks can run this card pretty nicely. But yeah, I actually want to buy one of each of the will cards just because I think that would be really cool. For the last card, it's a reunion of the house. So it's just a return any number of creatures with power 10 or less with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then you exile this. So, since a lot of my creatures are like 0 powers, I can Okay, my headset died. I completely forgot to charge this last night. I did get this literally, I did get it literally Tuesday, so it's fair. It survived 2 days without being on charge. That's my bad. Or was I? Yeah, so I can pick any number of creatures out of 0 power and just put them on the board. I can put like maybe 12 or 11 guys on board. It's nuts. So they are the ones that stayed in. I added 2 new ones. I added Large March to the end just because draw cards equal to the greatest toughness 1 creature you control, and then pull in any creature from your hand onto the battlefield is nuts. I use this in Radagast, so the card is dumb. You pay 8 mana. It's a guaranteed draw 2 because the card cannot be counted. And for more kind of revival and recursion, I got the Abzan Ultimatum. So return any number of permanents with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. So yeah. Some, like the ultimatums, are crazy. There are some, I think there are 1 or 2 that are bum, but this is one of the best ones. This and Ruinous Ultimatum is probably one of the best ones. Now for the enchantments, the deck itself didn't come with that many enchantments. But I have added like 4 additional enchantments, so that's like 7 in here. Assault Formation. They can attack as though they can attack with their booty pretty much. You pay 1 green and target creature with defender can attack even though it didn't have defender. Or pay 3 and creature you control get +0/+1 to the end of turn. Usually it's in here just in case I don't have my commander on board. That's usually why it's in here. Next, behind the scenes, I think it's nuts that this was actually printed in here, because, yeah, having a commander that has Skulk, or any one of my 0 power guys with Skulk, is insane. And Jaws of Defeat. Whenever a creature you control enters, target opponent loses life equal to the difference between the power and toughness. So, yeah. If I whack out any of my 0/13s, someone's losing 13 life, which is really dumb. I love Jaws of Defeat. I was waiting for a card like this to come around for ages, and I'm so happy it got printed. For 4 enchantments I've added Angelic Cortus. Whenever a creature comes into play, gain life to whenever a creature you control enters, gain life equal to its toughness. Brave the Sands. Creatures have vigilance, and my creatures can block an additional creature. Spider Silk Armor. My creatures get +0/+1 and have reach. Important, since not a lot of them have reach. And for the last one, which is one of my personal favorites that I love to make my commander a 0/15, the Stone Skin. I love this card. Big ups Todd for giving it to me a few years ago. And I used this in Door in the Siege Tower. It was funny, just making my commander, effectively, he was a 0/15 that could not be blocked, because I also had behind the scenes on board. And now I can do it again with Featherthar. Yeah! So dumb for a 3-drop uncommon. Now we get on to the lands. So, still running Commander deck, so we still have Command Tower. We have Exotic Orchard and the Sandstep Citadel. For remote, kind of like 2 colors, we have a Academy Vista, Overgrown Farmland, Sun Petal Grove, Isolated Chapel, and Woodland Cemetery. It's cool that these ones actually got printed in here, because you can as long as you control like a land type of any of these, you can. This comes in untapped. That's really nice that they printed these ones in here too, and it's like, yeah, like all three in the colors. Great. Fortunately, they didn't print the ones like this, like two or more lands. They didn't print like a third one of that in like the black, like black, white, or black, green. Bojuka Bog for graveyard hate. Access tunnel so that my commander can be unblockable. Landscape just so it's either colorless or I can tap it, sack it, search for basic forest, swamp, or plains plant the battlefield tapped, or I can pay 3 and recycle this. Recycle, cycle it. Evolving Wilds, because yeah, command decks usually come with Evolving Wilds. For the lands that I've added, we have the Abzan Triome, Fortified Village. Oh no, Fortified Village came in the Precon. Never mind, this came in the Precon. Ignore me. This came in the Precon. We're running 2 of the either tap before colors or tap before mana, so I'm using the black green and the green white, the black white. This is the one that comes in and you have 2 or fewer other lands, so we have I've added the black green one. Escape Tunnel, just so it's a sack, get a basic land, or sack creature with power 2 or less, can't be blocked this turn. And then the Fable Passes, because we're running 3 colors and I want to make sure I see as many different colors as I can. And when it comes to basic lands, the number is still the original number. Like, it still has 6 plains, 5 swamps, and 7 forests. These have not been touched. The basic land numbers have not been touched. So yeah, that has been my Abzan. What is the actual deck called? Abzan Armor? Abzan Armor upgraded Precon. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed my rant about the deck and what I think are good cards and what I think are bad cards, let me know in the comment section. Plus, again, I will have the link of cards I've added in and cards I have taken out in my Architect, so feel free to check that out. At some point though, I do want to build more of a tree folk based deck, so at some point I might bring out Dawn the Siege Tower again, just have a little play around. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video and we shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.